I want to encourage you all to stay with that. Practice keeping in mind with the body. It's so amazing. What's so amazing about life is how we can spend a whole lifetime being in darkness, thinking and then you make up excuses. Oh, I'm just human. This is just human. This is nobody perfect. What a lie the devil played on you. Just think about it. You are the spirit of God. And God's spirit is perfect. He made us in his spirit. And his spirit is perfect. But because we live in the lie, people confirm you can't be perfect. You start telling yourself that, oh, I can't be perfect. You are not your vices. You're not this false image that you have. It's a false image. It's not real. The real you, you're not afraid. The real you want for nothing. The real you're not trying to build yourself because it's already done. The real you have everything already. That's why God said, don't worry about these things. I got you. You already have it. The real you is fine. Isn't that like crazy? Just think about that. The real you is perfect. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't be. Because they're in the darkness and they're this false image that they have, which is the nature of the devil, is what they're calling imperfect. And it's imperfect, but it's the nature of the devil. It's not the nature of you. You are created in the image of God. Christ came and it is done. All you need to do is wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It is done. I heard this story, and this is not my story. I happened to hear a wiser old man give this story once. He said that, and I'm not going to say it exactly like him because I don't remember every word. There was this man who went looking for a house to buy. And so he introduced himself to a realtor, and she took him around to certain homes until finally they saw a house. And she told him, she showed him around the house, and she said to them, this is an amazing home. It's at a nice price. I would suggest that you hurry up and get it because it's really a nice price and property prices are going up and you should get it. And while he was looking around the house, other people came in too to get, because they were looking for a house. You know how you look for a house, other people come in and they were looking around and the realtor was showing them around. And so they were standing outside, the guy was leaving, something like that. The guy was about to leave it, and he was like, oh, I'll let you know. And some woman drove down the road, a neighbor came down the street, a beautiful woman, and the realtor introduced the man to the woman. Oh, this is Sally Ann, she lived down the road. And Sally was like, oh, that's cool. You're gonna be my neighbor. And the woman was beautiful, and so that made the man excited too, because he was told it was a good price, he better hurry up and get the house. And then the woman drove down the road, and there were a bunch of people looking at the house too. And the woman drove down the road, and the woman was cute, sexy and all that. And she was so friendly with the man, and so she drove off. Oh, good to meet you, I hope I'll be your neighbor. The man got really excited now. And so he left. And he stopped at a cafe to think about that, to have a little lunch. And he was sitting in one of those stools there where people can't see if you're sitting at one of those little table-like things with the wall. And so the realtor and that woman came into the cafe, and they didn't see the man sitting in the stool over, the seat over, and they were laughing about what a trick they played on the man. They're like, wow, we really played on him. Huh? We made you think the house was cheap. We pretended that you lived in the neighborhood. And he didn't know that those other people that was looking, that the other realtors intentionally invited them to come and look at the house at the same time so they could set up the setup. You know something? And the man heard them talking, and he knew that they had played a trick on him. He was able to see. And when he was able to see, he knew he wasn't going to buy the house because he had been had. And that's what the mind do to us. It set us up. But when you wake up, it can't set you up any longer because you can now see. Isn't that an amazing story? It stuck with me. That's what I remember. And that's what happens when you overcome the mind. You cannot be set up anymore. Because the mind gives you all these phony ideas about things and phony desires and phony plans, and you think they're yours. Phony ideas, and they're not yours. And then when you go and get what the mind says you should have, you find out, wow, I didn't want this. But if you don't listen to the mind, because you now see, you can't be set up, and whatever you get is perfect. It's fine. Amazing story, huh? That's what happens when you wake up. Once he heard them saying that, he can now see, and he was able to walk away from the house because he saw that he had been had. When you see that your mind is not your friend, you're going to be able to walk away from it. You will walk away from it. It's a setup. Right here, I think I saw your hand, right? Yeah, right here first. Oh, hold on a minute.
I don't know if I'm gonna mess up the flow of what you just said though. You want me to still ask the question?
Yeah, if you want to. Absolutely.
Okay. So can you explain? Keep your mind in you said mind in the body.
Yeah, keep your mind where your body. Like your body is sitting there in this room in that chair.
Yeah.
But your mind could be thinking about what happened yesterday, or what am I have for dinner today, or I had an argument with this person. Now I'm thinking about that. Your mind can have you thinking other places, rather than being right here with the body, being aware of the body.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, you clarified it because I was going to ask a question about, like, what if you're, like, I feel like my mind is with my body.
Instead of thinking about the future or the past.
No, but I still think about everything you just said. That applies to me.
But if you think about the future or the past, then your mind is not with you.
Okay.
It's an illusion of a past or a future.
Okay.
Because as a young man was saying, he's young. How old are you, 13? 14? 12. He's 12 years old. It's boring in the present for him because kids, they're excited, they need things. Yeah. But for an adult, it would be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep your mind where your body, not thinking about yesterday or tomorrow or what happened this morning and driving over here and none of that stuff.
When you keep your mind with your body, are you aware? Are you aware?
Yes. When your mind is with the body, you're aware. But when it's not, you're unaware.
Okay. So, but if you, can you be too aware?
No such thing as too aware. You're either aware or you're not.
Okay. All right.
All right?
I think I got it.
Okay. Amazing. Yes, sir.
So I've been thinking about this idea of love. I notice most people, we don't have love.
No.
And I was trying to figure out, okay, so what is love? And so I started seeking the Father about what is love. And what I discovered that most people think that, like, we can take a simple example of like a mother loving their child. And when you say to someone, you don't have love, or this mother doesn't have love for a child, that's almost offensive to any woman or any person who has a child. How can you say that they don't love her?
Right.
But what they don't realize is, in actuality, what they have is a passion. Because if you had real love, it would be impossible for you to get frustrated with that child and then despise that child or hate that child. So that's not real love. Real love is a perpetual state of non-resenting. You would never be able to resent or hate that child. That's what real love is, and it's a constant state where
it's a state of being,
constant state of being where you can never be hateful or hate someone for their actions or what they're doing.
And if a mother had love for her children, she wouldn't be offended if I said, you don't have love.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? She would know she has love.
It's not possible
She'd
to
be
be
like,
offended
whatever.
when you live in a state
That's
of
right.
love.
Absolutely. Amazing. Just think about this for a minute. And don't hold on to it, but let it pass through. God loves us. He's not holding anything against us. He's not judging us. He knows that we are not the ego. He knows that the devil made a home in us. And the crazy stuff we've been doing and thinking and acting was never us. He knows that. And so you need to come to know that about yourself, that it's not you, but it's the spirit that made a home in you. and that God is not holding that against you at all, so you can stop judging yourself as well. It's not you. God is done. God loves us. And he has defeated the devil that made a home at us. He has defeated him. And so there's no reason for you to give in to the devil. There's no reason for you to have fear or doubt or try to get love or friendship or worry about money or job or anything. And you listen to the not you. And when people say, oh, you drink alcohol, you're alcoholic. No, you're not an alcoholic. Don't claim that anymore. Don't claim these titles. Just say, no, I'm not. Just, you'll see it's the devil in you. Call the devil what it is. It's the devil. He's making you do the things that you don't want to do. Nobody want to have fear. And then I'm done. When you wake up, you're going to want to kick your own butt that you were afraid, that you worried about what people thought about you or what you had. Or, you're not going to believe, because you're going to see that people are no good. Why was one no good person afraid of another no good person? Just think about that. All have sinned, right? Everybody born through the woman born into sin. So why is one sinner afraid of the other sinner? Why do one sinner worry about what the next sinner think about him or her? Just think about that. People ain't no good in that fallen state. And so it's abnormal, but you listen to thoughts and emotions. All right? Amazing. So I saw a hand. Who did I see? Oh, right here. And then these two ladies right here want to tell me what they think about the little story about the man in the house. Yes.
So I can remember yesterday.
It's so dumb. Really, when you get over this, you're not going to believe you lived the life that you lived. And if you know to read the Bible, don't do anything about it. Getting degrees. This preacher that I interviewed, I think it was, one of the preachers said, my sister is a fine woman. She's a good woman. I'm like, well, what's good about her? She raised her kids by herself. She sent them off to college. She did all these physical things, right? I'm like, so what's good about that? Nothing he named was good about his sister. I'm like, that's not it, buddy. Sorry. It's not out there, folks. I'm telling you. And God loves us. He is not against us. He wants you to be still so he can shine the light on the darkness, because we can't change anything. There's nothing we can do. You might well give up. He's waiting on you to let go so he can take over. Just let go. And let whatever happens. And the devil going to play on your mind, oh, you ain't going to have this and this is going to happen. That's the devil talking to you. It's not you. Okay, real fast.
So I was driving around yesterday, and a lot of times when I'm by myself, I don't play any music, and I kind of watch myself. And I noticed that a couple of things happened. Three things. A car drove by with their loud music and loud engine, and I'm going, that is lifting that person's ego. You can tell the way they're driving while I'm looking at myself. And there's a lady walking by on Main Street, and she's wearing a short dress. Why is she wearing that short dress? Oh, the ego. Her ego is, she's getting high off of the attention she's getting from that. And then something happened to me. Somebody cut me. Almost.
Yeah, because you look at Jesse Lee folks walk down the
Almost.
road. What the?
What happened, a car cut me off. And I was kind of looking at myself, and normally I would have been, cussing that person out.
Yeah.
I'd have been angry and like, I need to get that person back. And I actually saw it before it happened. And so I was prepared for it. I was kind of just looking, and it prepared me for it. And the last thing about it is I didn't even get angry or emotional, or I didn't feel anything, when normally I'd be, ready to kill that person.
Yeah.
And so it's like I wasn't even angry. It didn't mean anything to me. And so that's what was amazing about that, keeping your eyes on yourself.
Amazing. I want to encourage you all to practice keeping the mind where the body is. And after a while, you're going to be aware of yourself walking through doors. It's just going to happen naturally. It's like magic. It just starts to happen because that old nature is falling away. And then consciousness is bringing in the new nature, introduce you to this nature that you have forgotten. And so just be aware of yourself, what you're doing. Keep it simple. Don't try to make it happen. Don't intellectually try to make it happen. It's not going to work because the intellect is of the devil. It's not of God at all. I don't care how many books you learn, how many Bibles you read. You have no idea what God is like, but you will start to know. You really will start to know. All right? What do you think about that story with the man in the house right here? How,
The story you said about
Yeah.
it's sad. It's sad. I mean, I feel like it happens everywhere you go anyway.
yeah.
You know, you're set up for this, really for failure because they're pleasing their ego.
But
So-
it's really, and the moral of the story is the way the mind set us up.
Yeah.
That story is, the mind does the same thing to
Yeah.
us. It set us up to make us think we know what we want, or make us think this is the right thing, and make us think this is the right that or this. It's
Yeah.
a setup.
Yeah.
And then once you get it, you realize you've been played.
Yeah.
Right?
When my dad, growing up, my dad always told me, don't believe everything you hear and believe half of what you see.
That's right.
So that's
used to hear the
always,
same thing.
Yeah, I tell
Absolutely.
the kids, I'm like, even coming out of my mouth, my husband's mouth, I always tell them, like, don't believe everything
Yeah.
you
One-
hear
let
and
it go,
believe
one at a
half of
time.
what you see. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Amazing.